Good morning class 3 students. Today we are starting new chapter of English 2 and the topic of this chapter is at home again. So now let's warm up. Look at this picture of a house. Imagine that this is your house and you have to paint it. Use your color pencils, paints, crayons and show how you will paint the house. So what you have to do? You have to color this house, okay? You have to color this picture, so you can use any kind of colors, okay? So now let's turn the page. Priya and her parents were moving to a new house in a town far, far away. On the day she was leaving, Priya's friends came to say goodbye. She waved sadly to her friends and her house and got into the car. So, this story is about Priya and her parents. Okay. So, what is Priya and her parents doing? Priya and her parents, they were moving to a new house. So, what does moving mean? Moving means to go to a new place. Okay. So, they were moving to a new house far away from the town. So on that day when she was leaving, Priya's friends, they came to Priya's house to say goodbye to Priya. Okay. So she said goodbye to her friend and her old house sadly. Why she was sad? She was sad because she didn't want to go to new place. Okay. And she got into the car. They drove for a long time and passed many towns on the way. Priya wondered how her new home would be and if she would have any new friends there. So they were driving for a long time, okay, and they passed many towns when they were driving, okay. And what is wondered? Wondered means to think, okay. So Priya, she was wondering that how her new house would be, okay, if she will get a new friend in her new house in the new town or not, okay. She was wondering. Finally, the car turned into a lane and stopped. Here we are, said father. So when they were driving for a long time, finally her father stopped the car and said that here we are, we reached our new home. The house looked very old and big. Once everything is in place, it will be lovely, said mother to Priya, seeing the worried look on Priya's face. So they reached their home, okay, they reached their new home. And how their new house looked? Their new house looked very old and big, okay. So her mother said to Priya that once everything is in place, once everything is settled, it will be lovely again, okay. So Priya was very worried, okay. So looking at Priya's worried face, her mother said that to her. As Priya's parents started to unload things from the car, Priya opened the front door and stepped inside. It was very quiet, dark and gloomy inside. The rooms looked big and empty and Priya felt very small. So when they reached their new home, they started to unload things from their car. So what does unload mean? Unload mean to take out or remove things from vehicle, okay. So Priya's parents, they started to unload things from the car and Priya, she opened the front door of the house and she stepped inside the house, okay. She went inside the house. It was so how the house looked? It was very quiet, dark and gloomy. So what does gloomy means? Gloomy means dull, okay. So it was very quiet, dark and dull inside the house. So the room looked very big and Priya looked very small in the room, okay. She then went into the kitchen, which was full of unpacked boxes. There was a door on the other side of the kitchen. Priya opened the door and looked outside. There was a big garden full of beautiful flowers. So, can you see Priya here? So, when she went into the kitchen, she saw that there was unpacked boxes in the kitchen. Okay. So, there was also a door, another door in the kitchen, okay, on the other side of the kitchen. So, when Priya opened the door of the kitchen and when she looked outside, she saw a beautiful garden with beautiful flowers, okay. So, this is garden, okay. So, can you see it? Isn't it beautiful? Priya stepped out. As she looked around, she spotted an old basket beside some rocks in a corner of the garden. It seemed to move a little. Priya was puzzled. So, when she stepped outside, when she was in the garden, she saw a box in the garden, okay. So, she suddenly saw a box in the garden. So, what is this? This is a box, okay. So, in the corner of the garden. So, the box was moving, okay, and Priya was very much puzzled. She wasn't able to understand what was inside the box. Why was the box moving, okay? Why is that basket moving? Asked Priya to herself, and she slowly walked towards the basket. She saw something move inside. It was a small kitchen. It was a tiny frightened It was a small kitten. It was a tiny frightened kitten with very dirty white fur. It lifted its head and looked at Priya with sad eyes. It looked as if it did not have a friend in the whole world. So, when Priya saw the moving basket, she was very much surprised to see it, okay. And she asked to herself that what is inside that basket, okay. So, she slowly walked towards the basket. So, when she saw something moving inside the basket. So, when she opened the basket, what was there? There was a small kitten inside the basket, okay. So, that kitten was very tiny, very small, and it was frightened. Frightened means it was scared, okay. That kitten was scared, and that kitten was very dirty, okay. It lifted its head and looked at Priya with sad eyes. So, when she opened the box, that kitten, she lifted its head and she looked Priya with sad eyes, okay, and as if she didn't have any friend in the whole world. I'll take care of you, said Priya happily. I'll be your friend, but first I need to clean you up. So, Priya was very happy seeing that little kitten, and she said to the kitten that I will take care of you, I will nourish you, okay, and I will be your friend, but first I will clean you, okay. She ran inside and brought a wet cloth, taking the kitten in her lap. She started cleaning the kitten's fur. She talked to it gently. The kitten looked up. After Priya had finished cleaning the kitten, it shook itself and mewed softly. Then it jumped out of Priya's arm and ran around the garden happily. Priya laughed and ran after it. So then Priya, she went inside and she brought wet clothes along with her, okay, and in the kitchen she took the kitten in her lap and she started cleaning kitten, okay, and she was talking to the kitten, and when she finished cleaning the kitten, that kitten, she shook itself, okay, and she meowed softly. So, what does a cat do? cat meow, isn't it? So then that kitten, she jumped out of Priya's arm and ran around the garden happily, okay, and Priya also, she ran after the kitten, okay. Now the kitten was all clean and fluffy. It didn't look like the sad creature that Priya had first found. So Priya, she cleaned the kitten and the kitten became very clean and fluffy, okay, and she was not sad also. The kitten was happy, okay. I'll call you Fluffy, said Priya, and carried the kitten into the house to feed it. Then they ran up and down the stairs and played hide and seek in every corner. The house was not a gloomy place anymore. It was a friendly and happy place. So, Priya is saying that I will call you Fluffy to kitten, okay, and she carried the kitten and she started to feed it, okay. Then they ran up and down and they played hide and seek together, okay. So that at first the house was very gloomy, isn't it? But then the house was not gloomy anymore, okay. The house became a happy place again, okay. By now, most of Priya's things were in her room. The room looked beautiful. She wished Grandpa was there to see it. He would have liked it so much, she said. So then when Priya was playing with the kitten, Priya's parents, they arranged Priya's room, okay, with beautiful things, and Priya's room looked beautiful again. So Priya is wishing here that I wish Grandpa was there with me, so he would have liked it so much, okay. Then Priya had an idea. She got some paper and pencil and began to write. So she had an idea and she started writing a letter to her grandpa, okay. Dear Grandpa, my new room looks beautiful. I am sure you will like it very much. I found a small white kitten in our garden. I call it Fluffy. Fluffy is my new friend. I enjoy playing with Fluffy. Please come to see us soon. With love, Priya. So here Priya is writing her grandpa a letter. So where she writes, my new room looks very beautiful, okay. So she's saying that I'm sure you will like it very much. I found a small white kitten in our garden and I call it Fluffy. Fluffy is my new friend. I enjoy playing with Fluffy. Please come to see us soon. So, what is the moral of this story? So, the moral of this story is we can make friends anywhere. We can also make friends with animals. We should always love animals. Okay? Thank you, class 3.